All right. Good morning. We are back from a long weekend. It was kind of nice. Good morning, Timmy Taylor. So I saw something about boarding ladder staying down on your boat. Hope you got that up out of the water. So
Zupita.
yeah, you got. It looked like you caught some fish. So guys, if you got questions for us for another Tech Tuesday, then drop them in the comments. If you're watching on a shared video, so if you're in one of the groups or something like that, if you got to go into our post on Bucks Island, drop your comment in there so that we can actually see it on the screen. Otherwise, I'll pull it later and maybe use it next week. Um, so how was your Memorial Day weekend?
Dug ditches and then watch TV. That's it.
Well, that,
Very exciting.
that's productive, I guess.
Yes.
So guys, hope y'all had a good weekend. Let's see here.
You're welcome, Mr. Taylor.
Thanks for repairing my boat on Saturday and allowing me to get out on the water yesterday. All right. So while you guys are pulling in some questions for ideas, questions, things that you've got curiosities of or want to know how to fix, um, then I have got some stuff I pulled off the various groups. So I'm going to bring some up and we'll go through some of this. That ends up kind of small. Let's see here. This one I think was out of the Skeeter Group 2001 SX 190 VMAX. The boat's been sitting a while. The mechanic replaced injectors and fuel pump, but can only get the boat started. It won't stay running unless they spray fuel in the intakes. Two different fuel pumps, one at 40 to 42 psi, the other at 34 to 36. Any thoughts on what to do next? Or need more information?
Possibly. I'm trying to think of on the 2001 VMAX 150. That means it's some kind of at least EFI. I can't remember if they. I'm trying to think when they started the HPDI. I don't know if it was a 2001 or 2002, but if it's an EFI, then there's probably if the fuel pump. The question is, are they using factory fuel pumps or are they using aftermarket fuel pumps? I've had some issues with aftermarket fuel pumps, so if it's HPDI, I would probably go a step further and go to the high pressure fuel pump. There's a really like a 700 psi pump on there that has filters also in it, and a lot of people don't know. If you don't replace those, and that can be the issue. They got a high pressure fuel filter up there as well.
So so just swapping pumps. Any other tips or ideas to figure out?
Without knowing exactly, I mean, they call everything VMAX.
Gotcha.
It could be a carburetor. I know it's not carbureted if you're running 42 psi or something like that.
So one question I would have if the boat's been sitting for a while is, did you replace the fuel? How old is that fuel been sitting in there?
And I mean, when stuff sits up, there's all kinds of problems that can manifest. And I mean, it could be it might not be on that side. It may be a boat side issue. So what I like to tell people is buy you, 6-gallon fuel tank, run it straight to the fuel filter, and that way you at least eliminate a boat side issue. So that'd be a good place to start.
Hopefully, you got a good deal on the boat.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Timmy. Do you recommend a cleaner for mold mildew that can accumulate in the bilge area?
Oh, bilge area? Yes. Bleach. Water it down. It's probably your best. I mean, you can buy a mildew remover, but it's basically going to be some degreaser mixed with bleach.
Hmm.
You just got to be real careful with it because you don't want to get it, in very important places like on your carpet, on your seats, anything with thread, you know. So, but don't just put pure bleach in there though.
All right.
Or you can, you know, we do have like a 303 mildew remover. Um, it probably works pretty good. So, but I know the guys back in the back, I think they just use watered down bleach on that kind of stuff. You don't want to use that on seats though.
You want to cover up anything in that builds? Knowing that he's got that newer skier.
Well, more likely as new as his
pumps
is, it's not going to be real bad. Just spot spray. Don't just go in there and just hit it hard. Just hit it in a few spots, let it sit for about 5 minutes, and then wash it off. And if you got a pressure washer after you've washed it off, that way you're not pressure washing and blowing bleach back up in your face and all over your boat. You want to get the main part of the bleach out, then you can pressure wash in there. Just don't spray your real vital electronics like your power pole pumps and your charger and your batteries. Batteries, they don't like ionized water. They like deionized water.
All right. Fancy water.
Yeah, fancy water.
All right, another question from Tony. Do you have any advice for a product that's effective for warding off chipmunks or mice?
Yeah, a pellet rifle. Actually,
Kids and a Red Ryder BB gun.
Actually, I mean, if you can figure out a place where they would be getting in, the best thing to use is if you look on eBay, it's actually it looks like steel wool, but it's made out of copper. So a copper wool.
So they can't chew through it as easily?
Well, they just don't, for some reason, they don't like that metal. It just, I don't know, it just deters them. So if you can put that in some strategic areas where you think a mouse could get into, just a little stuffing of it in each one of those spots, when they get to it, they don't like it and they go away. So I've used that in my house before when I had mice getting into real thin places. And keep in mind, a mouse, as thin as a mouse's head, that's what it can get into. So if it's a really small mouse, it can get into some really tight spots.
Timmy said an outside cat.
Yes,
Yes. I'm not a big cat fan, so outside cat.
I love cats. They're my favorite. I had a mouse on my porch this morning as a gift. So.
All right, here's one I pulled off of a pontoon group. Gives me a chance to make the Torpedo plug.
Yeah, I was going to let you have this one.
Considering electric motor on the 18-foot pontoon, what size and type. So I think Minn Kota builds an electric drive of some kind. I'm not super familiar with that option, but I know we've done a couple of Torpedo installs, and I think we've got a couple of boats coming. But what we've dealt with is I think an 8 horsepower max.
Yeah.
Because the pontoons that we've done were for a private lake where they basically had a cap.
Yeah.
And so but those seem to work. You got battery options on the Torpedoes. You can go with regular lead acid, a third party lithium, or the regular Torpedo lithiums, which are pricier in that order. The big advantage is that the closer you get to the Torpedo lithiums, the further you can drain the batteries down, in the course of a day. So I think the numbers I've heard is like 50% of the battery capacity when you use the lead acid with the Torpedo, and then you can get down to like 2 to 5% with a regular Torpedo lithium. So.
And the Torpedo is going to be more efficient than probably if you want like a Minn Kota, because it's brushless.
Yeah. They've got some good motors, but they're also going to be more expensive than the Minn Kotas. So, but I don't know. I think as electric motors and all the lithium batteries and all that kind of stuff gets cheaper, I think it's kind of interesting to see what the possibilities are on those. Sorry, that question caught my eye. Something fun. We got any other questions?
We're dried up.
All right. Yeah. I guess everybody's back at work. That's a good thing, right? All right. Will the gearbox foot off of a 2011 F70 fit on a 90-65 jet? This is from the Yamaha owners group.
It's a good question. It's very possible, as long as it's around the same year model. And the biggest thing is it's in the same platform. You know, if it's a 3-cylinder, 1.7 liter or something like that, more than likely it's going to fit. Some of those lower units, depending on the year model, you know, they change things, so you have to be careful of that. Because I know some of the newer 90s, especially if it's the show, it has the bigger foot on it.
Okay.
Bigger foot plate. It's on like the 115 platform, where the older ones were on their own platform.
How much have you played with the jet motors?
Enough to know that I don't like them.
What do you not like about them?
They lose a lot of 30% of your efficiency when you go. That's why you see that number out there, 90-65 jet. Like, so if you put, say, like a 115, and you put a jet on it, it basically turns it into like a 90, 85.
Gotcha.
Somewhere around there.
So
it's not great.
So I know since I've been here,
60 turns into a 40. Yeah.
So you're a big fan of stacking some hydraulic jack plates on tunnel holes and okay.
Yes. And then I have modified a 150 just inline 4-cylinder 4-stroke Yamaha and converted a SHO like 250 lower unit to go on that, so I had low water pickups.
Nice.
Pretty nice. Lee Pitts has got that set up.
Well, I can imagine what he does with that around here, taking folks out on the water.
He said it was too fancy for him, but I did it anyway.
All right. Let's see. Fred lost almost 10 miles an hour off my top end speed. I've noticed the ablative. The paint on my pontoon is beginning to pit.
Yes.
Could that be the drag that's slowing me down?
It could be, and if you've got, and I'm assuming the paint is probably some kind of paint that keeps stuff from growing on there as easily. But if you have any growth on those pontoons, that growth is going to slow you down. And what a lot of people don't realize, even if you don't have a painted tune, you just have anodized tunes. If you got growth on there and it's wet, that's going to slow you down. But I see a lot of people bring their boat in and say, "Hey, I've lost, 6 or 7 miles an hour.
Right. Something's
wrong with my motor." And then we find out, "Hey, you've got crust on the bottom of your pontoon," and then they don't believe me. And then I tell them, "You need to have your pontoons cleaned." They're like, "There's no way. I don't want to do that." Well, then there's a bigger problem. All that stuff that's dry, that was on there, that was wet, was slick, is now dry. And when you put it back in the water, suddenly you've lost 15 miles an hour. And then they're like, "Y'all done something to my motor. I'm not happy with y'all." And then I have to. The last time this happened, I had to bet the person. I said, "I will bet you. If this doesn't pick your speed back up, I will pay for the acid wash myself. But we're gonna go out on the river together." So I won, to say the least.
Well, so
but they were happy after.
There you have. We don't really paint most of the tunes.
Yeah, I'm actually running doing a pontoon paint job right now, but
all right.
But that's not advertisement. I'm not saying that we do a lot of that, but we're doing this one boat.
I could see some of that maybe down towards the coast more for us, but unless of course it's like the G3s with the factory painted tunes. All right, let's pick another one.
There's Tim Miller. I know
Tim. Let's see what we got. 2007 Triton TR21X with a 250 Optimax. Difference between a 26 pitch and a 25. Will summer have anything to do with the top speed?
Yes, summer's going to affect top speed in a lot of regards, right? Because there's two main things. Your air is less dense. There's less oxygen in the air because it's hotter. Okay, and then the water's warmer. And anytime you have warmer water, your prop actually loses traction, less grip. So you're not getting as much propulsion, and you don't have as much horsepower. So you got those two factors working against you, which is going to slow you down. Probably, I don't know, depending on your boat, 5 to 10%. And so a lot of people are going to run a 25 in the summertime, and they'll run a 26 in the winter because they need a little bit more push.
All right.
How's that, Mr. Miller?
Hope that helps. We got a follow up from Fred. It's antifouling paint. Don't have any growth at all, but the paint is beginning to age, and she'll show pitting. Yeah. All right, I see the follow up comment.
And it sounds like you're probably maybe in the coastal area, saltwater area.
If you're doing antifouling,
yeah, I would say that if it's pitting, it's slowing you down. Because you got little, cups. It's not like a golf ball. It's not going to speed you up. That's for sure.
So what are some options for
pitting?
For pitting, you got to fill it in and paint it again. You got a smooth bottom.
Yeah, you'd have to fill it in. Definitely. You could just repaint it. That might, if it's a thick paint, it may fill those pits in. I don't know. So I know down there most of the time that stuff only lasts a couple of years before it starts, fouling out again.
All right. Well, I got one more. If nobody else has got any more questions.
This looks serious.
Yeah.
Oh, he got broke.
Yeah. So it's a 2011 150 running at 3/4 throttle. The gear broke with no warning. Do my own maintenance. So
I have seen that before, and the last time I actually seen it twice. I saw it on a really small motor. It was like a 30 horse, maybe, something like that, and it just broke. It was just brittle and broke, and it's what this actually looks like. It's may have gotten brittle and just broke. But the last time I saw this happen, which was on, I think it was on a single overhead cam, big, maybe a 70 or something. But it actually had a dirt dauber build a nest in the cowling, and the guy had a wave, and it broke the dirt dauber piece off, and it got caught in there. And when it did that, it blew the pulley to pieces. So it may not be that they got brittle. It may be possible that a piece of foreign object got in between the belt and that pulley, and if it does, it's going to blow that pulley to pieces. So that's a possibility. I've seen these motors, break timing belts, not very often, but I've seen some stuff happen and it not cause any damage to the internal part. So the biggest thing you got to do is get everything lined back up and do a leak down test, and make sure there's no valve in it. And if everything, all the leak down checks out good, you'll probably be fine.
All right. Yeah. I think that covers all. He got a few questions in there, but I think we got it covered. All right. Well, I'm not seeing any other questions, so I guess we'll get back to work. Appreciate all you guys watching, and hopefully it's helpful in some way. Now, I guess summer's officially started, Memorial Day.
Oh, yeah.
So for all you anglers out there, sorry about all the pontoons we sold. And for all you pontooners, enjoy, be safe, be smart, and I guess come get some tubes while they last.
Yeah, if they ain't getting boats.
Last season, and I will throw it out there. Last season, we were buying tubes from like 18 different distributors because we couldn't find any. So, not expecting much of a change this year with the way things seem to be going. So,
if you want to sell your boat, come put it out here on consignment. We need some boats to sell.
Yep. So,
time to do it.
So, guys, have a great afternoon. Have a great week and a safe weekend, and we'll catch you next week on another Tech Tuesday.
All right.
Thanks.